All right, we're back for the fourth deck of the day, and we've spun the wheel and hit Madness. So Madness is basically if you decided you wanted to be the Oops All Spells Glass Cannon combo deck, but also not win on turn one sometimes. So, first things first, what is this deck trying to do? Well, it is trying to discard cards with Madness and use cards that have synergies with discarding cards. So, first thing are the enablers. We have Faithless Looting to draw 2 and discard 2. We've got Burning Inquiry to draw 3 and then randomly discard 3, and it also causes our opponent to do the same. And then we have Putrid Imp, which just straight up allows us to discard cards along with LED. Then we have all the cards with Madness. So we've got Basking Rootwalla, 1 mana, 1/1, Madness for 0. You can also pay 2 to give it +2 once per turn, although that can sometimes come up, but it's not that relevant. It's more that it's just a free Madness creature. And then we've got Brazing Rootwalla, which is similar, but it is color shifted to red, and its ability only costs 1, but also doesn't pump its toughness. We then also have Anji's Ravager, 3 mana, 3/3. It must attack if able, and when it attacks, you discard your hand and draw 3 cards, and it madnesses for 2 mana. So those are all of our Madness stuff. Then we've got further discard and graveyard synergies with Vengevine, because you are casting the creatures off of Madness. We've got Hollow One, which is 2 mana cheaper per card you've discarded, so sometimes this can just be free. Similarly, we have Street Wraith to enable that. So Street Wraith is just basically a free card that makes Hollow One cheaper. And then also in the graveyard, we've got Ox of Agonis, which we can escape for double red and exiling 8 other cards, which will cast it and cause Vengevine to trigger. It also, again, discards and redraws, so that can be used with all of our Madness stuff. And then Anger, which while it's in the graveyard, gives, and you control a mountain, gives all of your guys haste. So that's the primary thing the deck is trying to do. One other thing, I guess, is that Burning Inquiry can sometimes screw your opponent up. If you turn 1 Inquiry, maybe they discard randomly out of their hand. And then the lands are just a bunch of fetches with different colors that we need for the different cards in the deck. Primarily Rakdos. So then in the sideboard, as you might imagine, this deck is basically just all in on aggroing the opponent out as fast as possible. So obviously, sideboard, we need to adjust what we're doing. So I have 1 extra Ox of Agonis in the sideboard for basically grindy matchups. Ancient Grudge for artifacts. We do need to be able to kill Grafdigger's Cage, Soul Guide Lantern, etc. Deafening Silence for the Storm decks. Leyline of the Void for enemy graveyard decks. Run Afoul as a 1-of in order to kill flyers, so like Merit Lage or Murktide would be the big ones. And then Firestorm, red, discard X cards as an additional cost, deal X to each of X targets. So Firestorm is basically for the creature relevant matchups like elves, essentially, where it's fine to just discard your whole hand to kill everything and then maybe madness some stuff into play. It's basically like a very card expensive Fury. Now, one thing to note is that apparently all of the cards in this deck are not on Moto. So Shadowgrange Archfiend was supposed to be a 1-of in the sideboard to do grindy matchups. As you can see, this is a 7 mana 8/4 with madness for 3 and pay 8 life. ETB, each opponent sacks a creature with the greatest power and you gain life equal to the greatest power sacked. Somehow, although the card is here, it's not legal. I don't understand how that can be the case, but okay. And then Poxwalkers is another card that was supposed to be in the deck, but is, I guess, just not on Moto at all. So for those not in the know, this is Poxwalkers. It is a card from the Warhammer sets. It's a 3 mana 3/1 with Death Touch, and it says whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, return Poxwalkers from your graveyard to the battlefield. So that applies to Ox of Agonis and all of our Madness creatures, but just not on Moto. So we can't run it. So do understand that this is a suboptimal version of the deck because it's not Moto legal entirely. Anyway, other than that, that's Madness. I'm not expecting great things out of this deck, but let's see. We're going to go to the casino again today. So let's jump into the league with Madness. All right, we're on the play for round 1. We have no mana, so that's a mull. All right, so this hand is a turn 1 Hollow One, and we get to put Basking Rootwalla into play for free. So I'm going to keep and bin, I think, Putrid Imp, right? Because I'm going to go land, Faithless Looting. Or actually, I'm going to go Street Wraith, land, Faithless Looting, bin, Rootwalla, and Anger, or something else, doesn't matter. Hollow One. All right, so put back Putrid Imp. All right, land, fetch. Let's go grab Badlands, I think. Or, yeah, I guess Badlands. Cycle Street Wraith. Cast Faithless Looting. Wow, we've just drawn a whole bunch of nothing. All right, discard Root Walla, Anger, then Madness, cast this, then cast Hollow One for free, then go to combat, attack for 5. I can't believe we've drawn just lands off of that, but all right. Turn 1, 5 damage of haste is pretty good. Flooded Strand, fetch, grabs Tundra. Well, if it's a Swords to Plowshares deck, yeah, there goes Hollow One. That's rough. Ox of Agonis. All right, so land, fetch, grab Taiga, activate this, combat, swing, ponder. So I guess all I'm doing is I'm using looting and then looting Ox into my graveyard. Mountain. So Jeskai Control. Ooh, Burning Inquiry. Burning Inquiry, you say. All right, let's play fetch land, fetch. Let's grab another Taiga in case we ever have to hard cast Vengevine. And then let's go Burning Inquiry. This gives us the higher chance of discarding Ox since we have fewer cards in hand. They're going to force this. Force it, exile Narset. All right. Well, activate the Root Walla. Combat. Swing. 3 mana. Back to basics. Ugh. Well, here's a mountain. Go to combat. Swing with the Root Walla. Island. Play Snapcaster, and then they can Snap Swords this. All right. Well, this is pretty rough. All right. Cast Blazing Root Walla. Go. Oh, I guess I could have attacked there. Yeah. Brainstorm. Attacking there is whatever. I assume they'll block with Snapcaster regardless, right? Plays another land. LED. Ooh, what a draw. What a draw. All right, cast LED. Oh, come on. You have another Force of Will. Exiling back to basics. Okay. Combat. This doesn't have trample, right? Yeah, okay. Swing here. Block with Snapcaster Mage. All right. All right. Well, this is stupid. Oh, you draw Aerolingus off the top. Cycle Street Wraith. All right, we can't do anything. And now we just lose. Ponder, whatever. We lose this game. Unless I immediately draw another LED, we're dead. We take damage. They draw from the Monarch. All right, well, there's a land, but I still can't do anything with it. Pass to them. Another 4, go to 6. Monarch, they have 3 cards in their hand. All right, well, here's 3 mana. We can at least cast Ravager, I guess. All right, cast Ravager. Snapcaster Mage. Targets Brainstorm. Brainstorm. Doesn't even matter. I'm going to discard these and then draw more cards, but I can't even do anything, right? Does this resolve? All right, go to combat. No, Swords to Plowshares. Over to them. We take 6, go to 2, and then the only thing I can draw to get out of this is LED, right? Oh, and it's another Aerolingus, right? Yeah, okay, this has been one of the stupidest matchups ever. So, sideboard. I don't actually have an answer to enchantments, so back to basics just gets us. I guess Ox is slightly better than normal because of all of these counter spells. I'm not going to bring Leyline in just to beat Snapcaster Mage, so yeah. Man, I don't even know. I'll cut Putrid Imp. Run it back. All right, so let's see. We've got turn 1. We play LED. We play land LED, and then cast Burning Inquiry. Yeah, I guess so. All right, keep Burning Inquiry. Hope we discard this. Hope we don't discard this. So land, LED, fetch, Badlands. Yeah, Burning Inquiry. We discarded 1 Hollow One, but not 2. All right, cast the Root Walla. They discarded Swords, Land, Brainstorm. Then, let's see. Cast Hollow One for free. Am I supposed to use the LED right now? I don't think so, right? The only thing that lets me do is flashback Faithless Looting. Yeah, so let's just pass with LED up and then try to do more things next turn. Planes. All right. Another LED. So first things first, let's loot. So cast Looting. Discard Vengevine, Root Walla. Cast the Root Walla. Then let's go Foothills, fetch, Taiga. Am I supposed to cast the other LED? I guess so, right? Cast LED, Burning Inquiry. All right, we discarded another Vengevine, but not a Madness creature. I can pop LED and loot, and then we're trying to hit another Madness creature, right? Yeah, so pop for red. They discarded Land Narset. Cycle or Faithless Looting from the graveyard. All right, well, discard Anger and LED. I have no more actions that I can take right now. So combat, swing all. Swords, the Hollow One, sure. All right, Island, back to us. All right, Cycle Street Wraith, Putrid Imp. I want to not cast that because I want to have 2 creatures to Vengevine back. And I don't want to tap any mana at this point because back to basics can show up. So let's just swing here for 2. All right, I guess they don't have another land. So, all right, there we go. Putrid Imp. They're going to force the Putrid Imp. Sure. Exiling Jace. Cast Root Walla. Trigger the Vengevines. All right, they've conceded to that. I'm pretty sure it's just the same thing again. So run it back. All right, we're on the draw for game 3. What does this hand do? It's turn 1, double Street Wraith with Inquiry. That seems fine. All right, so let's keep that. Keep Volcanic Island, Ponder. They chose to shuffle as well. Ooh, Putrid Imp. All right, let's go land, fetch, Badlands, cast Putrid Imp. See if this resolves. It did. All right, activate, put Vengevine in the yard. Oh, I should just be cycling these Street Wraiths. Cycle Street Wraith, discard Basking Rootwalla, Madness, cast Rootwalla, trigger Vengevine, put Vengevine into play, then Rootwalla into play, and then let's discard Blazing Rootwalla, Madness, cast Blazing Rootwalla. All right, they've conceded to that. Round 2. Round 2 are on the play. Let's see. There's a Street Wraith. There's also a Putrid Imp, which if we don't draw another land... Oh, I can't even cast the Putrid Imp either. Yeah, let's mold this. Okay, Burning Inquiry with Street Wraith is pretty nice. Although we don't have the mana to actually Madness Ravager, but I think this is fine. So keep putting back... Although I can go Putrid Imp turn 1, turn 2 Ravager, so that's pretty good. What am I putting back then? Street Wraith is just a redraw. All right, let's put that back. So I'm going to go turn 1, fetch, Badlands, play Putrid Imp, and then turn 2, probably just Madness the Ravager out, and then try to, like, multiple Inquiries after that. All right, land, fetch, Badlands, Putrid Imp, Urza's Saga, Mox Opal. So you cast your Madness guys at instant speed, right? So I can pass. So I can just attack with Putrid Imp, pass, and then get it. All right, so land. Let's go to combat, swing. I'm not going to discard Rootwalla because I want the maximum chance to discard that to Inquiry. So let's just pass here. Urza Saga goes up to 2. Still not sure if I'm playing 8 cast or Storm or what. Island. All right, probably 8 cast then. Patchwork Automaton, sure. Chalice of the Void for 0. That's also fine. All right, Putrid Imp, discard this. Madness, cast Ravager, paying red and this. Then back to me. Ooh, Vengevine 2. All right. So Burning Inquiry, let's inquire what we're going to get. Ba-bamf. We discarded one of the Vengevines. All right. We also discarded the other Inquiry, which is unfortunate. So, yeah, cast this with Madness. They discarded Needle, Wasteland, Force Negation. All right, cast Rootwalla. Then activate Imp, discard Vengevine. Activate Imp, discard Rootwalla. Cast the Rootwalla, trigger the Vengevines, puts the Vengevines into play, puts the Rootwalla into play. This is going to get countered by Chalice of the Void anyway, so whatever. Go to combat. Swing everything. Trigger Ravager. Discard LED, draw these things. All right. No blocks anywhere. Opponent goes to 7. Play a land. And then I'm going to instant speed Ravager into my yard. Or into Madness next turn. All right. Floats a mana. Shadow Spear. Plays Seed of the Synod. Equips Shadow Spear to Patchwork. Sure. They're still massively, massively dead. Thoughtcast. Wouldn't you Thoughtcast first to see what else you can do? Lotus Petal counters via the Chalice, but it also grows the Patchwork. Thoughtcast again. All right, they've conceded to that. So let's see. Ancient Grudge. Pretty sure that's it. Just Ancient Grudge. Is this matchup going to go long? Probably not. So we don't need as many Oxes, Angers, or what's the last one? I'm going to say Street Wraith is cuttable. All right, let's run that. So turn 1 looting, discarding, probably like Ox Vengevine, and then cast Inquiry. I'm not sure. Let's keep. Opponent mulls to 5. Spire of Industry, Lotus Petal, and that's it. All right. The reason I don't want to discard Rootwalla first is because I want the maximum amount of double creatures to get the Vengevine back. So let's go land, loot. They're going to Bowmasters in response. Wait, what? Bowmasters in the 8 cast deck. Okay, yeah, sure. Well, that makes all our draw spells terrible. So looting, discard. I guess both of these. Discard this, discard this. All right, we go to 17, and then they have 4 power in play. All right, take this, go to 13. I mean, I can't just not do anything. So I guess we're casting looting. Or I guess I'm cycling Street Wraith. All right, cycle Street Wraith. Go to 11. Trigger this. Yep. Cast looting. Discard 1 root. Well, I'm going to looting again. So I'm going to discard 1 Rootwalla and 1 something else. And 1 fetch land, I guess. Oh, man, but if I discard the Rootwalla now, they can shoot it. Yeah, all right, whatever. That's fine. Discard these 2. Bowmasters. I guess I'm just going to yield to these. Then Madness, cast this. I need to try to loot into like another Vengevine or something. So loot again. All right, Anger, Rootwalla. I assume this is dying and then we're taking another one. Cast Rootwalla, trigger the Vengevine. And although technically they can both attack, so I swing with Vengevine and I chump block the Orc army, right? Yeah, let's do that. So swing here, Urza's Bobble. They swing with both. We have to block the army token. All right, damage, we're at 6. This is so rough because I can't cast like a bunch of these draw spells. Bobble triggers on upkeep. So I can cast Ox of Agonis, and then what? Ox is discard your whole hand, right? Discard your hand. So I should go get Putrid Imp into play first, although they can just shoot the Putrid Imp, but at least that means they're not shooting me. All right, so land, fetch, Badlands. I'm definitely playing Putrid Imp. So then the only question is, am I madnessing in Ravager or not? Oh, it's a 2/2? That's interesting. So Ox comes back as a 5/3, and then they can actually just shoot it with the Bowmasters. That's nuts. All right, well, I think I just hit them with Vengevine, and then when they attack, I go... Yeah, because I just need to get Bowmasters out of play, right? Yeah, so let's just attack with Vengevine. Oh, this can't block either. All right, swing with Putrid Imp. I need to try to bait them into attacking with this Bowmaster so that I can block and kill it so that all my card draw stuff comes back online. Swing with both. Excellent. All right. Activate this. Discard Angie's Ravager. Madness. Cast this. Yield here. Block. This one here. This one here. Yes. Die, Bowmasters. All right. So now I can Inquiry. I should get the maximum amount of lands into play, right? So let's go. Taiga. Inquiry. Ba-boom. We discarded, what? Ox. Faithless Land. Okay. Inquiry again. Discard 2 Madness dudes. All right. Cast this. What'd they discard? Oh, a bunch of stuff. All right. Cast this. Trigger the Vengevine. Then this hits the field. Then we cast Ox. Red, red. Exiling Street Wraith, land. Rootwalla, land, land. Inquiry, Street Wraith. Ox on the stack. All right. We won. Okay, that was a game. On to round 3. This deck is wild, ain't it? We're on the draw for round 3. All right, let's see. This looks good enough to keep. I'm not exactly sure what I'm doing with it, but definitely looks good enough to keep. Mountain. Chain Lightning us. Okay, so it's burn. Ooh. Double Rootwallas. All right, so Taiga. Cast Faithless Looting. Oh, I'm so close to being able to hollow one twice. All right, so let's just go... We definitely want Vengevine in our yard, and we definitely want Ox in our yard. So if I don't think there's any way that I'm going to be able to use hollow ones this game. So I think what I do is I discard Vengevine and Ox. Yeah, Vengevine and Ox, play LED, then use LED, put both of the Rootwallas into Madness, which gets Vengevine, cast Ox of Agonis. Yeah, all right, so let's do that. So discard this, then LED, then sack for red. Red, double Madness, so yield to these. Cast this. Oh, wait, am I short on... Oh, I'm short on Ox. All right, use the Vengevine. I think this is still correct either way. So Rootwalla comes into play, right, because I need more cards to exile to it. All right, in that case, let's just loot. Discard this and this, and then Rootwalla, cast Rootwalla, combat. Swing. All right. Well, we put 7 power into play on turn 1, so I hope that's enough to race Storm. Chain Lightning us, we can't pay for it. Skewer us. All right. LED. I'm still short of being able to use Ox, right? So we just go LED. How much damage is this? 4. I can activate this once and this once. So it's 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They go to 5. So I don't have to do it now. If I somehow get to the point where I can get Ox back from my graveyard. All right, so let's just go activate this, then go to combat, swing all. All right. I don't think they can do 11 damage to me in one turn, although maybe Fire Blast can get them there. Eidolon of the Great Revel. All right, so Mountain. We still can't Ox, so let's just go to combat, swing all. Blocks there. Activate this. LED for green. Activate this. Activate this. Damage. All right. Outraced Burn. What do I want to fight Burn with? I don't think anything. So the biggest thing that Burn has against us is if they play Roiling Vortex, because then all of our 0-cost Madness guys chunk us for 5. If they have Leyline of the Void, they have Leyline of the Void. We can't do anything about that. If they have Ensnaring Bridge, we also really can't do anything about that. I guess I can play like one Ancient Grudge, but that just seems bad. It's probably better to just keep this as is and just try to kill them as fast as possible. All right, let's just run back exactly the same thing. Double hollow ones with double looting. All right, let's keep. Oh, the hollow ones also chunk us if they cast Roiling. Swift Spear. They didn't attack? All right, I'm going to play Taiga and LED, and then I'm just going to pass so that I can double loot next turn. Second Mountain. Casts another Swift Spear. Chain Lightning, sure. No pay. And then they can deal us 4 here, right? Sure, we take 4. Another LED. All right. This one, fetch, Badlands, Faithless Looting, discard Ox, Land, Faithless Looting, discard, I'm not sure at this point, probably Putrid Imp and the land, and then we double Hollow one with another LED, and then we have Burning Inquiry left in our hand next turn. All right, this one and this one. Cast this for free, cast this for free, cast LED. I can loot from the graveyard, but I don't think that's great. Yeah, let's just pass back to them. Eidolon of the Great Revel. That's kind of unfortunate. Basking Rootwalla. So yeah, it chunks us for damage for every single thing that we play. That's rough. I'm 2 cards away from being able to just Ox. So I could just LED, discard both of these Ox, take 2 off the Eidolon by casting the Rootwalla, or I could just not cast the Rootwalla. It's also possible that I can just kill them right now if I Burning Inquiry. They only have 2 cards left in their hand. They're going to draw a 3rd card. The Ox gets around this. The Rootwalla doesn't. So I go Inquiry. I'm down to 10. The thing is, I don't technically have to do that, but it's probably better to do it. So if I Inquiry, am I going to hold priority and LED in response? I don't think so. Let's just Inquiry. Yeah, trigger. We take damage. Boom. They discarded Surgical. That's nice. We discarded nothing of any value. Well, I don't think a random 1/1 is good enough to warrant taking 2 here. Although I guess it blocks to some extent. Can I choose not to cast it? Yeah, right? So I am not going to cast it. Then let's LED for red. Cast Ox, getting rid of a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. So cast the Ox. Trigger, we draw 3 more cards. This Eidolon's putting in some work, eh? The Anji also makes me take damage, but it's better. So let's see. I've got to try to balance not taking as much damage with still getting enough blockers into play. So have I played a land this turn? No, I haven't. All right. I technically take less damage if I LED this into play than if I fetch. All right. Let's just fizzle this mana and attack with the hollow ones. They don't block. They go to 12. And now we can instant speed Anji's into play as a second blocker. And they only have 2 spells. Skewer the critics on this. Well, that happens. They have 1 more card. Swing everything. Activate LED for red. Madness this out. Cast this. We take more damage. This hits the field. And then I'm going to block Eidolon, I guess. All right. Well, I think they're dead. We got it. On to round number 4. How in the world are we undefeated with Madness? How? All right, round 4, we're on the draw. All right, what does this hand do? Turn 1. I'm not popping LED immediately. So this hand's actually not good. Yeah, this hand isn't good. All right, let's mold this. Okay, Putrid Imp into Ravager and whatnot is fine. So keep this, get rid of one of my lands. Polluted Delta. All right, another Imp. Let's just play one of the Imps. So fetch, Badlands, play Imp. Opponent fetches. Volcanic Island. All right, hey Delver. Daze, yeah. Brainstorm. Scalding Tarn. Play or fetch Tarn. Underground Sea. All right, so it's Grixis Delver. Ponder. Ooh, Rootwalla. All right, so land. Let's see if we can resolve Putrid Imp. All right, fetch. I do have to consider Wasteland, so let's grab just another black source probably. Maybe not. That's fine. Taiga. Cast Looting. Let's see if this resolves. All right, discard Rootwalla, and the second Imp is not relevant, although, God, I have to play around Bowmasters too. Okay. Well, double Burning Inquiry hand, we just lose to Bowmasters. That's fine. All right, discard both of these. Madness, cast this, and then pass to them. Volcanic, plays Darcy, and nothing else. All right, ooh, LED. All right, cast LED. Cast Burning Inquiry. Force of Will, Surveil. Exiling another Force of Will. All right, that resolves. Let's Burning Inquiry again. Burning Inquiry. They discarded Wasteland, Wasteland Bolt. We discarded Hollow One, Burning Inquiry, Land. They didn't hit Delirium out of all of that. Huh. All right, combat. They're missing Sorcery. Let's swing here. Brainstorm in response. Surveil. Okay. I'm definitely getting this Ravager out on their turn, so we'll just pass for now. In order to cast it, I have to use LED, so Ponder. All right, so now they get up to Delirium, but that means they can't block anymore. So that's fine. Ponder, they didn't shuffle. Bauble. Man, if they Bowmasters, it's just so bad to have Ravager in play. But again, Bowmasters just makes this deck awful no matter what. Wait, they don't have Delirium? Oh, they're missing Creature and Artifact, but they can get it at instant speed with Bauble. All right, end of turn. LED, red. Madness on the Ravager. Cast this. Pops the Bauble. Becomes a 3/3. Mana fizzles out. And then Bauble on upkeep. So bad if we attack and they have Bowmasters. Okay, so we have to attack with it though. So land, go to combat, attack with everything, trigger Anji. Of course they have it. All right, Bowmasters. So they get to kill this, and then they get to kill this, and they get to kill Putrid Imp. Resolve this trigger. So Anji dies, then the Putrid Imp dies. All right, let's activate this and ditch Ox. So the only thing to do now is just to play Ox, right? So LED, free hollow one. Oh, I haven't actually discarded enough? I thought I did. Oh no, I didn't discard. I just drew 3 cards. Right. Well, let's pop this for red and Ox. Get rid of a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. Then they just get to kill the Ox with the Bowmasters. All right, Ox. Trigger. Bowmasters kills it, but I have to do something. Boom. We didn't draw much of anything off of that. I guess technically I can recast it, right? All right, Ox dies. Orc token becomes huge. I haven't played a land yet, right? No, I have. Okay, LED, pop for red, Madness trigger here, cast this. All right, Ox return, recast the Ox, trigger, Bowmasters, kills it again, Orc becomes gigantic. All right, play this for free, play Putrid Imp. I guess I should technically loot, right? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to lose to this. Let's just concede. One single Bowmaster kills this deck. All right. Delver. I guess I just play Firestorm. Oh, man, that's just not good either. Ox is probably fine. I just need Firestorm in order to kill Bowmasters, because otherwise the deck's just dead on the spot. All right. Well, let's cut all the Street Wraiths. Run it back. I do have Putrid Imp, so if they don't force the Putrid Imp, I get a lot of power on the board really fast. All right, I'm going to keep. I get to go discard Vengevine, discard both of these. Vengevine comes back, play 2 hollow ones for free. So once again, if they don't force this, the hand's really good. If they do force this, the hand completely falls apart. Fetch Badlands, play Putrid Imp. Oh, they have Force of Will. All right, back to them. Volcanic Island. They also exiled Daze. Well, LED losing both my hollow ones kind of sucks, but what else am I going to do? Cast LED. All right, crack LED, sure. Discard everything, Madness, cast Root Wall on number 1, cast Root Wall on number 2, trigger Vengevine. Then this Root Wall comes out, then I don't have anything else to do with this mana, so it fizzles, and then we attack with Vengevine. Is Grixis Delver better than the Rug Bean Delver? I don't think so. I think it's just the same, it's just different things that they hit. Bowmasters is more aggressive and punishes decks that draw extra cards, like enemy Brainstorm decks. Beanstalk Delver is better against grindy decks, like the control decks. All right, plays Underground Sea. Well, let's cast LED. There's the Bowmasters, of course. Kills our Root Walla, sure. All right, combat, attack with Vengevine. There's just no way we win. They have multiple blockers for Vengevine. They have cards and we don't have cards. Like, this Vengevine is not going to get there. Another Root Walla. All right, go combat, swing with both of these. Opponent fetches. Here comes the second Bowmasters to pick apart our whole board. Yeah, all right, concede. On to round number 5. Personally, I would say Grixis because Bowmasters is goddamn stupid. It's a card that can just single-handedly win the game on its own, whereas like Hooting Mandrills and Beanstalk are not going to single-handedly win the game on their own. But against some decks, you play Bowmasters, and they just lose. Your opponent's playing Elves, and their plan is to Glimpse of Nature. You play Bowmasters, you kill off one of their guys, they can't Glimpse of Nature anymore, they lose the game. Your opponent casts Brainstorm, you flash Bowmasters in response to Brainstorm, you win the game. Your opponent's on 8 cast, and they need to use Thoughtcast and Thought Monitor to draw more cards, you flash in Bowmasters, you win the game. Personally, I think an example of a card that punishes extra draws that's actually fair is Esper Sentinel. It's not a giant threat. You can pay to negate it. It doesn't trigger more than once a turn. That, I think, is a good version of that design. Anyway, round 5, we're on the play. I have double Street Wraith, Putrid Imp, discard this, cast Hollow One. All right, keep this. All right, cycle Street Wraith. Cycle Street Wraith. Double Hollow One's pretty good. All right, fetch, get Badlands, play Putrid Imp, discard Basking Root Walla. Madness, cast the Root Walla. And then I've discarded 3 cards this turn, so I can cast 2 hollow ones for free. Over to them. 10 power on the board on turn 1. Lotus Petal. Ancient Tomb. Is this 8 cast again? Show and Tell. Oh, awesome. Are we just dead? Put a land into play. Atraxa. I guess we just lose on the spot. All right. Oh, sorry. Esper Sentinel doesn't punish draw. Esper Sentinel punishes spells. That's what I meant. Like, effects that you can, that just tax you, but you can pay for them, or that only trigger once. As far as any card that punishes draws, that's fair. Spirit of the Labyrinth, because it's symmetrical, it's not a giant threat, and it dies to every piece of removal. Spirit of the Labyrinth is a good example. What'd they get? They're just show and tell, right? They're sneak and show. All right, well, we're dead because we can't beat Atraxa. So, all right, cycle this. They're at Burning Inquiry. Emrakul in their graveyard, Anji's Ravager in our graveyard. Or in Madness, rather. All right, let's fetch this one, whatever. Emrakul trigger, shuffle back into your deck. Madness here, cast it. Yeah, just pass. The only way I can think that I can beat Atraxa is if I somehow, like, I have the absolute nuttiest draw in existence and manage to put, like, a metric ton of power into play that's so much that it actually gets past Atraxa. But the fact that Atraxa single-handedly blocks 14 damage is kind of nuts. They swing with Atraxa. We can't even block it. They go to 24. Vengevine. That doesn't help. We're straight up just dead to Atraxa on the backswing. All right, whatever. Attack. Swing with everything. Trigger Anji. Discard Vengevine. Yeah, we're just dead to Atraxa on the backswing, right? I have nothing that stops that. Yeah, we lose. All right, show and tell. I have what? Run afoul to kill their guy once it's in play. That's basically it. Ox is a grindy card. This is not a grindy match. Deafening Silence is basically irrelevant. Yeah, sometimes they can like Lotus Petal into their thing, but for the most part, it's just going to be a matter of we just have to kill them on turn 1, essentially. Their creatures are so big that I can't Firestorm them either. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, anything that they sneak and show in, we're dead. So let's just assume that we win on turn 1. Run afoul is the only thing that actually stops any of their creatures. All right. What does this do? We have turn 1, land Putrid Imp, LED, discard, cast Madness, cast Ravager with Madness, get Vengevine back. All right, I guess that's fine. Leyline of Sanctity. Oh, okay. Well, Run afoul can't even stop it. So land, fetch, grab Badlands, play LED, cast Putrid Imp, red, trigger Madness, cast, trigger Vengevine. Anji comes out, mana fizzles, swing with Vengevine. All right, are we dead or not? Lotus Petal, Volcanic Island. No, not yet. We're probably dead next turn. All right, cast Putrid Imp, combat, swing everything. Anji triggers, draw these 3. All right, hit you for this damage. Play land and go. Lorien Revealed cycle. All right, if they show and tell in a giant bomb, we're dead. I guess I could beat Emrakul if they show and telled it. I can't beat Atraxa. All right, we won. Game 3. Well, the fact that they have frickin' Leyline Sanctity, although they won't always have it, so run afoul is probably still correct. Yeah, all right, let's just run back exactly the same thing, I guess. Is Deafening Silence good in this matchup? Like, it prevents them from going Petal into a thing. It prevents them from going, like, Ponder into a thing. I feel like Ox of Agonis is just so slow. Deafening. All right, whatever, let's do that. On the draw for game 3, we have turn 1. It's basically turn 1 Burning Inquiry, and we have to hit the right stuff. Like, if we discard Vengevine and Blazing Rootwalla, like, excellent. If we discard Hollow One, not excellent. Whatever, let's keep. It potentially messes them up too. Scalding Tarn, fetch, Volcanic, Preordain. All right, Burning Inquiry, what happens? Do they counter it? Does it resolve and hit the wrong things? We discarded both Madness creatures, which is slightly good. We didn't hit any lands or like any other way of putting stuff in the graveyard. We drew and discarded a Faithless Looting. That's just terrible. All right, yield. I can't cast Anji, so no. I can cast this at least. All right, I can cast Hollow One, and then we can't do anything else, so pass. I don't know, was I supposed to mold that? I feel like this hand is just, like, this matchup is so atrocious that... So they discarded Surgical Daze, Omniscience, Preordain, or Ponder. The best card draw off the top would be LED. Faithless Looting would also be a decent draw. So 7 cards in our deck are decent hits here. That's what? 1 in 14, 21, 28, 35, 42. So like a 1 in 7 chance of hitting something good. Another Hollow One. Well, yeah, combat, swing, activate Rootwalla. Take 7, go to 12. We can't do anything else. If they show and tell, I'm going to show and tell in Putrid Imp. All right, show and tell, put in Putrid Imp. They had Atraxa. How do I beat Atraxa? I don't have any, like, aristocrat card is the problem, so I can't sack before they gain life. So they're de facto at 19, whatever they block. So if they block like a hollow one, I have to deal 19 damage to them. They took Show and Tell, Atraxa, Brainstorm, Ancient Tomb. So plays Lotus Petal. There's no reason to discard anything right now, so let's wait. All right, cleanup step. Discards Ancient Tomb. We drew Burning Inquiry. So the only reason to not Burning Inquiry first would be so that I get Hollow One on the board. Yeah, so discard Vengevine, discard Vengevine, discard Blazing Rootwalla, Madness, cast the Rootwalla for 0. I can't cast either of these with the other one on the stack already, so cast Hollow One for free, trigger the Vengevines. The Vengevines come back, the Hollow One comes back, or comes out. Then we cast Burning Inquiry. They're going to force this, all right? So force, pitching Atraxa, sure. So these both have Summoning Sickness, so if I attack with everything, they block Hollow One and take a total of 1, 2, 3 damage and go to 8. Well, it's not like it's getting any better if I don't attack them, so go to combat, swing with everything. Yeah, block Hollow One, they go to 8. All right, over to them, Brainstorm. So then they go up to 15, and then another attack is this gets blocked, negates all but one of this, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage. So they would be at 9. So attacking them is just not working. City of Traders, swing with Atraxa. Nothing we can do about that. We go to 13, they go to 15. Show and Tell. All right, put Anji's Ravager into play. They put Emrakul into play. All right, well, we have to somehow kill them this turn. That ain't gonna do it. This can't block once I hit Threshold, right? And I'm going to hit Threshold when No, actually, I'm going to hit Threshold. I'm at 5 cards in the yard, and I'm going to be 6 cards in the yard, so I can technically swing everything here, except Putrid Imp. They go block, block. Let me think about this. I attack with everything. They go block here, block here. That damage is negated. They're taking 2, so that doesn't matter. If they attack... I have to attack with Ravager is the thing. So if they attack with Emrakul, then I have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, but not this because I'm attacking with it. I'm going to lose that. So I have a land. And then I block with Putrid Imp. But then I'm still dead next turn. All right, combat. Attack with everything except Imp. Swing, trigger Anji. Street Wraith, LED. All right, blocks. Block there. Are they going to block Vengevine or Anji? It doesn't really matter. Block Vengevine. All right, so damage, they're at 13. Cast LED. Cycle Street Wraith. Land. I have a Faithless Looting. So land, pop for red. Yeah, pop for red. Madness here. So then cast this. And then I guess I'm fetching out, I don't know, Badlands. And flashing back Faithless Looting. This one and this one. Flashback Looting. Discard these 2. All right, and then we're just dead on the board. Man, we had a pretty good run going, and then it kind of all came apart. Anyway, that's 3-2 with Madness. So yeah, as I said at the beginning, I think the basic problem is this is an all-in deck, kind of similar to Oops All Spells. But whereas Oops All Spells wins, like, you know, immediately on turn 1, this deck doesn't win immediately and can be destroyed by Bowmasters, anything that can block it. And Oops All Spells at least has, like, counter spells or Chancellor of the Annex or, like, other things to maybe get its combo through the opponent's interaction, whereas this deck has nothing to get through its opponent's interaction. And it loses to Graveyard Hate. And I think a big problem was also not having any way to get rid of enchantments in the sideboard, although, again, this deck is so just all-in main. Another possibility is, of course, that Poxwalkers and Shadowgrange Archfiend, as I said in the beginning, are for some reason not available on Moto, so it's not technically the optimal version of the deck. But I think the deck would have mostly played the same way regardless. Like, essentially the difference would have been 2 Ox's main, 1 less of this, 2 less of these, and it would have been Poxwalkers here, and then this wouldn't have been here, and it would have been Shadowgrange, but otherwise it would have been the same deck. Anyways, though, that is Madness.